The house stood silently, a large Dutch colonial. Its presence was both commanding and unsettling, as if it held secrets within its walls. It was an imposing structure, the kind that drew your eyes and made you wonder about its past. Something about it felt off. The air around it seemed heavier, the shadows darker. This was 112 Ocean Avenue, a seemingly ordinary address that would soon become infamous, a place that would become synonymous with horror, the kind of horror that seeps into your bones and lingers. In 1975, the Lutz family moved in. George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 children, were looking for a new beginning. They were looking for a fresh start. They found anything but. The house, with its dark history, had other plans for them. This house held dark secrets, secrets that had been buried deep, waiting to resurface, secrets that would soon torment them. The Lutz family began to experience things they couldn't explain. The house was deceptively beautiful, spacious and well-maintained. It was the kind of house that seemed perfect on the outside. It seemed like the perfect family home. But beneath its charming exterior, something sinister lurked. But something wicked lurked beneath the surface. An evil presence that was waiting to be unleashed. An evil that was about to be unleashed. The Lutz family had no idea what they were walking into. The Lutz family had no idea what awaited them. Their dream home would soon become their worst nightmare. Their dream home would soon become their worst nightmare. The house on Ocean Avenue would forever change their lives, leaving them with memories they would never forget. A year before the Lutzes arrived, tragedy struck. It was a night that would forever change the history of 112 Ocean Avenue. Ronald DeFeo Jr., the eldest son of the DeFeo family, committed a horrific crime that would shock the entire nation. In the dead of night, he took a rifle and murdered his entire family as they slept peacefully in their beds. His parents, Ronald Sr. and Louise, and his 4 siblings, Dawn, Allison, Mark and John Matthew, were all victims of this gruesome act. The news of the murders spread like wildfire, leaving the community and the nation in a state of shock and disbelief. The brutality of the murders was incomprehensible, and the seemingly senseless nature of the crime left everyone searching for answers. Ronald DeFeo Jr. claimed that he was driven to commit the murders by demonic voices that tormented him relentlessly. He insisted that these malevolent forces had taken control of him, compelling him to kill his own family. The house itself seemed to absorb the horror of that night, becoming a place filled with an oppressive and malevolent energy. This evil presence lingered long after the murders, casting a dark shadow over the property. The DeFeo murders left an indelible mark on 112 Ocean Avenue, and the house remained empty for a long time. No one dared to live there, fearing the dark history and the malevolent energy that seemed to permeate the very walls. That is, until the Lutz family came along. George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 children, moved into the house, unaware of the horrors that had transpired within its walls. They were excited to start a new chapter in their lives, blissfully ignorant of the dark legacy that awaited them. Little did they know, they were about to become all too familiar with the darkness that resided there, as the malevolent energy of the house began to reveal itself in terrifying ways. The Lutz family arrived at their new home, 112 Ocean Avenue, with high hopes and dreams. They had just purchased the house at a bargain price, unaware of the dark history that lingered within its walls. They were filled with hope and excitement, envisioning a fresh start and countless happy memories to be made in their new abode. They were ready to start a new chapter, leaving behind their old life and embracing the promise of new beginnings. But the house had other plans. Unbeknownst to them, the house had a sinister past, one that would soon reveal itself in the most terrifying ways. They began to notice strange occurrences almost immediately. Doors would creak open on their own, and objects seemed to move without explanation. Foul odours permeated the air, a stench so putrid it made their stomachs churn. No amount of cleaning could rid the house of the smell. Whispers seemed to emanate from the walls, soft at first, but growing louder and more insistent as days went by. It was as if the house itself was trying to communicate with them. The temperature would fluctuate wildly, from bone-chilling cold to stifling heat in a matter of seconds. Something was amiss, and the family could feel it in their bones.
I started feeling different, withdrawn and irritable. Nightmares plagued me every night, vivid and horrifying. Vivid dreams of the DeFeo murders, the gruesome events that had taken place in this very house. I could see the faces of the victims, hear their screams.
I felt a cold presence following me, a chill that would run down my spine whenever I was alone. It was as if someone, or something, was always there, lurking in the shadows. An unseen entity, always watching our every move. We could feel its eyes on us even when we couldn't see it. The sense of being watched was inescapable.
The children, too, were affected. They would wake up screaming in the middle of the night, terrified of the shadows that danced on their bedroom walls. They complained of seeing shadowy figures, dark shapes that would move and shift just out of the corner of their eyes. It was as if the house was alive, and it was watching them. The house was changing them, warping their minds and filling them with dread. It was as if the very walls were closing in on them, trapping them in a nightmare they couldn't escape. It was as if the evil that had possessed Ronald DeFeo Jr. was now turning its attention to them. The malevolent force that had driven him to commit such heinous acts was now seeping into their lives, corrupting their thoughts and actions. The Lutz family was trapped, ensnared by the dark energy that permeated the house. They felt as if they were prisoners in their own home, unable to escape the malevolent force that held them captive. Trapped in a nightmare of their own, they struggled to hold on to their sanity. The house had become a living, breathing entity, feeding off their fear and despair. The Lutz family knew they had to find a way out before it was too late. Days turned into weeks. The paranormal activity intensified. The Lutzes were living in a state of constant fear. Objects moved on their own. Doors slammed shut violently. Disembodied voices echoed through the halls.
One night I woke up to a terrifying sight. George was levitating above our bed. His eyes were wide with terror. I tried to wake him, but he was in a trance-like state.
The children's behavior became increasingly erratic. They spoke of imaginary friends, friends with glowing red eyes. The Lutzes knew they had to get out. They had to escape the clutches of this evil house.
The Lutz family tried to seek help.
They contacted priests and paranormal investigators.
But no one could explain the terrifying phenomena they were experiencing.
The evil presence in the house seemed to grow stronger.
It fed on their fear.
One particularly chilling night, Kathy felt something cold and slimy slither across her face.
She screamed in terror, but George was powerless to help.
He too felt the oppressive presence in the room.
The Lutzes were at their breaking point. They had to escape the nightmare of 112 Ocean Avenue. After 28 days of unimaginable horror, the Lutz family fled their home. They left behind all their possessions. They couldn't bear to take anything with them. They were afraid the evil would follow them.
Our story sent shockwaves through the nation. People were horrified by our account of the haunting.
The Amityville Horror, as it came to be known, became a media sensation. Books were written. Movies were made. The legend of 112 Ocean Avenue grew.
But was it all true, or was it an elaborate hoax? The Amityville Horror has been the subject of much debate over the years. Skeptics claim the Lutzes fabricated their story for fame and fortune. They point to inconsistencies in their accounts. They question the validity of the paranormal evidence. However, believers argue that the Lutzes were clearly traumatized by their experience. They maintain that the evidence, while circumstantial, is compelling. The haunting at Amityville remains one of the most debated paranormal cases in history. Whether you believe the story or not, there's no denying the power of the legend. The Amityville Horror continues to captivate and terrify audiences to this day. Despite its dark history, 112 Ocean Avenue continued to attract attention. Paranormal investigators flocked to the house, hoping to capture evidence of the supernatural. Many claim to have experienced strange and unexplained phenomena.
One team of investigators reported hearing disembodied voices they claimed to have captured EVPs, or electronic voice phenomena, of the DeFeo children.
Others reported feeling cold spots and seeing shadowy figures.
Some families even dared to live in the house after the Lutzes. They too reported experiencing strange occurrences.
It seemed the evil that haunted 112 Ocean Avenue was not easily appeased. The Amityville Horror continues to fascinate and terrify. It has become a part of American folklore, a cautionary tale about the dangers of dabbling in the unknown. The house at 112 Ocean Avenue remains a symbol of evil and the unexplained. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's no denying the power of the Amityville story. It is a reminder that there are some things in this world that we may never fully understand, and some places that are best left undisturbed.